Welcome back to the channel, everyone. One major event today was the release of the latest consumer price index, that's also known as the CPI data, a key measure of inflation that the Federal Reserve watches closely when making interest rate decisions. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about this in the video real quick. I want to share some information about BTCC, which you can find a link down in the description below. This crypto exchange has no VPN and no KYC necessary. You can get up to 500x leverage, and they have over 300 cryptocurrencies. Plus, it's been around for 13 years. And if you use my referral link, you can get a 10% bonus on your first time deposit above $500 USDT. And you can actually earn bonuses up to $10,055 per user. So if you want to research this more, or if you're ready to get started, you can find that down in the description below. Now let's go ahead and talk more about how the numbers came in for the CPI information. Well, you have the annual CPI 2.8%, that was lower than the expected 2.9%. You have the monthly CPI at 0.2%, that was lower than the expected 0.3%. The core annual CPI at 3.1%, lower than the expected 3.2%. And then you have the core monthly CPI at 0.2%, lower than the expected 0.3%. So, at first glance, these lower than expected inflation numbers seem positive, suggesting that inflation is cooling, which could take pressure off the Federal Reserve to keep interest rates high. But for crypto, the impact isn't so simple. Inflation data plays a big role in how the Federal Reserve sets interest rates, and interest rates influence riskier assets like Bitcoin. So lower inflation could mean the Fed is less likely to raise rates further, or might even cut rates sooner than expected. And this would be bullish for Bitcoin because lower rates generally mean more liquidity in the markets. But since inflation is still above the Fed's target of 2%, they might hold rates steady for longer, which could keep investors cautious. And for now, the market seems unsure of how to react, which is why we're seeing Bitcoin struggle to find direction. And adding to the uncertainty, Donald Trump's latest tariff policy are also causing waves in the market. Trump has hinted at massive tariff increases on Chinese goods, and if these policies come into play, they could do a couple things. They could increase trade tensions between the US and China, leading to economic slowdowns. It could strengthen the US dollar as investors seek safer assets, which typically hurts Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies since Bitcoin tends to perform better when the dollar weakens. And it could also create more market volatility as traders try to anticipate how global trade policies will affect growth. Now, historically, Bitcoin has thrived as a hedge against economic uncertainty, but in this case, investors appear to be playing it safe rather than pouring money into crypto. All right, so what could we be seeing next for Bitcoin? With all this economic uncertainty, Bitcoin is likely to remain volatile in the short term, and if inflation keeps cooling, we might see bullish momentum return as investors price in the potential rate cuts later in the year. But if Trump's tariffs threatens are escalating, Bitcoin could face more pressure, especially if global markets react negatively. So for now, all the eyes are on the Federal Reserve's next move and how traders react in the coming weeks. So let me know how you guys feel about all this. We're seeing right now the S&P, while I'm recording this video, the S&P 500 is actually down on the day. Started to look a little bit green initially when the market's open, and now we're seeing it pull down. And we've got Canada also having a bit of a retaliation against the United States, including that note for you guys too. So let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit subscribe. Again, you're more than welcome to check out BTCC. You can find that link down below. I'm also over on Blue Sky at Crypto Atlas. You can find a link to that down in the description as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members. You guys are all absolutely awesome. I hope you have a great day. God bless, and we will see you in the next episode.